Your dog can now be detained and DNA tested under a strict new law designed to protect farm animals across England and Wales. These are brand new changes that came into effect in March of 2026, and in this video we're going to take a wander through some of the exact countryside that this new law applies to. I'll tell you everything you need to know to avoid some potentially hefty fines, and I'm also curious to hear what you all think about these new changes. So let's get into it. Now, this new law came into play on March 18th, 2026, and it's all connected to something known more formally as livestock worrying. This term does cover dogs physically attacking livestock, sheep and cows for example, but it also includes chasing and causing stress to farm animals. And if I'm being honest, this is an issue I've been pretty ignorant of up until very recently, but having looked into it, it's something that's been bubbling up now for several years. We've got a lot of data that's been published by the National Farmers Union and the National Sheep Association, who have been doing surveys annually for several years now. And the number of incidents has been on the rise, as has the severity of the incidents. And the data they've collected suggests that in recent years, British farmers have had to pay out close to £2 million to address and rectify all the issues caused from these attacks. We've got the obvious problems. A dog might chase and kill a sheep, for example. There are cases where dogs have physically attacked sheep and left them injured, and sometimes these incidents don't go reported. So we've got injured animals just left in the fields. And then there are other issues that could be less obvious. Dogs chasing sheep. This can cause the animals to flee in panic, injuring themselves, getting stuck in places, miscarrying, and sometimes forces mothers to abandon their lambs. And all of these can have significant knock-on effects that the farmers are left to deal with and left to pay for in most cases. In some of the most extreme cases, we've got 10, 20, 30 and even 40 plus sheep being killed in a single incident. Now, these are the more extreme cases, of course, but they have happened on multiple occasions. And so all of this and these growing number of incidents have led to this new law. So what's changed? What's new? Well, previously, up until now, there was a maximum penalty for livestock worrying of £1,000. But now that cap has been lifted, and there's now what the UK government label as an unlimited fine. On top of that, police now have the power to seize and detain a dog if they have reasonable grounds to believe that it's carried out an attack and may carry out another one. They've also been given investigative powers to enter premises to retrieve animal DNA, the DNA of your dog. And on top of this, the courts now have the power to charge a dog owner whose dog has been seized and detained to cover all of these costs and the cost to care for these dogs. So all in all, some pretty significant changes and some potentially severe penalties. I would imagine that most of this will not concern the vast majority of dog owners, but there is one caveat to look out for. These new rules can also apply to incidents that take place on roads and footpaths. For example, if a farmer is moving a flock of sheep from one field to another and crossing them over a road in order to do so, if you happen to be walking your dog on that road at the time and something happens as an incident, then you will be liable. Just something to be aware of. Now, ultimately, these changes are designed to give farmers more peace of mind. Hopefully to, I presume, reduce the number of incidents to work as a deterrent, and then on the occasions when there are problems, to make sure that the farmers aren't left out of pocket. I have had a look around, and from what I've seen, the vast majority of feedback from all sides has been positive when it comes to these changes. And maybe I'm too much of a cynic, but I was expecting there to be maybe a bit more disagreement, but thankfully I'm happy to say I haven't seen it. And so it might be, for what feels like the first time in a long time, that everybody's happy, pleased with these changes. Let me know what you think. I'm really interested to see how this plays out. Will we see a drop in incidents? Will there be some cases where there are heavy penalties laid out? It is hard to imagine the police rocking up at somebody's door to take a DNA sample from the dog. But maybe it's already been happening. So I'm very keen to find out and see where all this goes. Hopefully it helps everybody. Now the full details about this new law can be found on the UK government's website. I'll pop a link to that page in this video's description. Their advice to farmers and dog walkers is very similar to what it always has been. They're advising farmers to record and report any incidents so they can be dealt with. And for dog walkers, well, I'm sure you'll already know. They say to follow the countryside code, which boils down to just being considerate, really. This is a bit of a random detail. To keep your dog under control, in sight, and when necessary, on a lead. Nothing that's going to surprise anybody, I don't think. This is a bit of a random path. I can see the gate over there. Sorry, I've gotten distracted here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, and aside from that, sorry about that, there's not much more I can tell you about it. Those are the key changes that I picked up on in the government documents. So I'm keen to know what everybody thinks about these changes. Let us know in the comments and be honest. These are important discussions that can affect the way the laws of our countryside change over time. Aside from that, I just want to say thank you for watching. Slightly more compact episode today. It's what you'd normally get on this channel. A little bit of a countryside update. I've got a rather steep looking hill to climb now to get back home. So I'm going to crack on with that. Hope you enjoyed the video though. If you've got any questions, let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Huge thank you to everyone who's been hyping, subscribing, commenting, liking, all of it. It helps such a huge amount. And a big shout out to all the members who support these videos financially. There's loads more on the way very soon, and fingers crossed, I'll see you on the next one.